and staff, once again, I thank you for taking us out of order. My name is Tim Madden. I'm the state rep for Cape and Islands, and I'm with Sarah Peake from Providence now. We're speaking in support of a bill that's before you today. It was filed in a timely manner, but it was really filed as a placeholder. It's House Bill 2895, and I believe we supplied you with basically a complete redraft of the bill, which hopefully the committee will have an opportunity to look over. I would be remiss if I didn't thank Chairman Golden for the opportunity to meet with him last week and his staff to discuss the bill. And I would like to turn it over to Representative Peake to say a few things. But before I do that, I just want to let you all know that this is not a mandate. This is an opportunity. So as you go forward, it doesn't cost you anything. It's an opportunity for your towns to make decisions on a town-by-town basis. So as you read through the legislation, I very much appreciate any questions you have or anything. Feel free to reach out to me or my staff. We'll be happy to supply you with those answers. Also, we're also open, as we always are, to any committee recommendations. So if there's some recommendations you can have that could perhaps make it a better and stronger bill, we wholeheartedly support that as well. I would now defer to my colleague, Representative Peake. Thank you, Lady Peake.
Thank you. I'll be very brief. I'm really just here to say I agree with him, and stand shoulder to shoulder, asking for your favorable consideration of this bill. I think the more tools we can give our municipalities and our regions to dealing with rising energy costs, the diversification of their energy portfolios, better off we are. So, and I've written testimony, and I'll sit down and I will bore you reading the letter because I know you know how to read. So there you go.
If you're indulgent, we do have a small panel here. I have Erich and I have Richard Andre. And as much as some people might associate them with wind power, this is not a wind power piece of legislation. It is about power, and it is about empowering towns to craft their own path that they'll take. Thank you. So with that, Richard, why don't you go ahead and start, perhaps?
Thank you, Representative. Richard Andre, Vineyard Power. We're a renewable energy cooperative located on Martha's Vineyard. You've heard some support testimony from our fellow island colleague, Tobias from Nantucket, which was great, and also Representative Dodd, and thank you, Representative Peake and Representative Madden. Community empowerment, the key features and goals, it's an enabling piece of legislation, as Representative Madden said, so it would be on the statute, and it would be enabling only. Municipalities can take the opportunity to utilize it if it was on the statutes, but it's not an obligation. And it would enable every municipality across the Commonwealth, that's 352 of them, would have the access to use this, which is powerful. It's democratic with a small d. The decisions would be based on a vote of the town, whether that's the city council or the town meeting. And that's pretty much laid out in the statutes consistent with MGL Chapter 164, Section 134. It's competitive. It requires no subsidies. So it would be really business competitive and free market approach. And the important thing is, through that vote, it would be able to secure through the residents of the municipality and the businesses financing for a renewable energy developer to develop a renewable energy project. It's agnostic, as Representative Madden said, so it's kind of addresses the combo platter that I heard the last time I was in front of the committee. So it's for solar, land-based wind, new hydro facilities, waste to energy example, and hopefully in the future offshore wind as it's developed in the Commonwealth. We've met with about 24 NGOs, consumer-based organizations, environmental groups. We've reached out to, we've had 2 webinars with green communities across the Commonwealth. We've met with agitators. We've spoken in detail to the 2 utilities, Eversource and National Grid. We've also spoken to the Clean Energy Center, DOER, EEA, and the AG's office and the DPU. And we've had no opposition, constructive feedback, which has been included in the bill before you. So, as I say, some of the benefits is really about local choice and then choosing their own energy future for the renewable energy for the future. By enacting this, it's enabling towns to take small steps to address and achieve the Global Warming Solutions Act, and also the RPS standards in the Commonwealth. So with that, I'll end my testimony and say thank you and hand over to Erich.
Thank you. So I'll be very brief, but really just to sort of explain why I'm here as a developer. You've been hearing a lot about the community's perspective on why they support this legislation. So I'm with OffshoreMW, one of the offshore wind developers, and work very closely with Richard and the others on the Vineyard Vineyard to develop this concept to make sure that it was useful, would be practical for developers, whether it's offshore wind, which just happens to be one business I'm in, or for my colleagues in the land-based wind business or solar or whatever renewables they might be doing. So I'm just here really to sort of answer any questions that might come up from that perspective. But thank you for your time.
Thank you both for your testimony. Any questions, members of the committee? I've got one. So is the difference between existing law and what has been proposed, the major difference, right? Because municipalities can aggregate their demand right now, as some have, certainly as the case on the Cape, you said, and certainly as some have looked into over time. So, and they then have the ability to choose what they procure, but the difference here is specifically in the long-term nature of what they procure.
That's
compared to existing statute.
That's correct. So the Cape Light Compact, which you've referred to a few times, is the Cape and also Martha's Vineyard, but not Nantucket. They typically are restricted to entering into contracts because most long-term contracts beyond 3 years would require the municipalities to put up their so-called balance sheets, which they won't do. So they're entering into 1 year to 3 year strips. And when you do that, you can't really fully utilize the long-term benefits of a renewable energy contract, which is usually in the 10 to 15 year range because of the low inflationary aspect of the renewable energy. So to answer your question, it cannot be done currently, and this would do it. And it's done by a vote of all of the residents in the community, and then they would be charged on their bill.
So that is the aggregation requires a vote, right, by the governing body under existing
Yes.
law. So this would be both, the aggregation would require a vote, and then the contract itself would require a vote?
This is the same vote that the aggregation would have taken.
It encompasses both?
No, it does not. It would have to be a separate vote, but under the same process.
Okay, that's useful. Any other questions?
Now you see why we brought a panel.
Thank you very much. We
Thank you,
appreciate
Senator
all your
Downey.
help.
Thank you, Senator. Representative Golden.
And Berwick.